the staff members, the administration of the factory, they have said, they have asked all the workers, all the members of the organization, the particular factory, to move out of their not only the factory complex area, but out of the locality, out of the entire stretch of this area in Narendrapur, that's in the southern suburban area of Kolkata. Abhishek.
Well, Mayuk, just a quick question that I would also like to take with you, because if you remember, Mayuk, back in 2011, the State Pollution Board had basically put a ban on the usage of ammonia as a refrigerant. Now, the fact of the matter is that it does still appear that it's being widely used by the bottling plants. There have been leakages in the past. Also, back in 2011, at least 2 such incidents were reported in the month of December and January. So, anything that you're picking up, were there any prima facie? Are you picking up anything with regards to any rules and regulations that were basically flouted?
Well, right now we are trying to ascertain the fact that whether this gas leak has something to do with the violation norms or how this thing happened. Because right now the initial videos or the initial footage, what we are getting is of evacuation, and it's going to be a big story. It's going to be a long investigation because of the fact that, as I said, that what kind of gases were being used, how this entire thing happened, were there any violation of pollution control, any violation of industrial standards. The company here is a very big and prominent beverage company with all the international brands that they cater to. So all these things will be kept in mind, kept in focus, and most importantly, right now we are trying to get reactions from the state government, also from the pollution department of West Bengal also. But what we are getting in from the reaction is that right now the main focus is to evacuate all the people. Right now the main focus is to check that this gas leak situation is being arrested, and after that the whole area is evacuated, sealed, and then the primary investigation part that will be started. Shawan.
Well, thank you very much, Mayuk, for getting us the latest details. We'll be tracking the story very closely. Well, in fact, a day after Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai said that the Mangaluru blast accused had terror links, an image of the accused, Mohammad Sharik, posing with a cooker bomb has now surfaced. Not just this, Republic has also accessed the pictures of the explosive materials that have been recovered by the police. There are incidents that have now come to light which essentially indicates that perhaps Sharik, linked to an ISIS module, was a repeat offender. There are more details uncovering layer by layer in this case. Take a look at this report and then we get you the latest updates.
It is Mangaluru after Coimbatore. An explosion occurred inside a moving auto rickshaw in Mangaluru on Saturday, injuring 2 people. 2 days after the explosion, the cops have categorically termed this as a terror plot. A cooker was recovered from the auto rickshaw after the blast. The state police went on high alert following the blast, with security heightened at airports, railway stations, markets, bus stands and tourist destinations, among other places.
These are some of the items which has been seized, and we can understand that there are electrical gadgets, apart from which there is also a pressure cooker and gas cylinders too which has been put in, and some lighters, and there were also mobile phones too which was put in. This was the gas cylinder that I'm speaking about, which was seized from the room of Sharik in Mysore. We can clearly look at it. One of the key items was a triangulation point of an AK-47 vehicle. So this was something, I beg your pardon, an AK-47 gun, a weapon, which was kept here.
The auto rickshaw passenger is the main suspect in the Mangaluru blast case and has been identified as Mohammad Sharik. The accused has previously been booked under the UAPA and was absconding in a terror case. Cops said that the accused in the auto rickshaw blast in coastal Karnataka's Mangaluru was inspired by ISIS terror group and used dark web to contact his handlers. The Karnataka police also said that Sharik worked under multiple handlers, one of them from Al Hind, a terror outfit influenced by ISIS. Sharik's immediate handler was Arafat Ali and accused in 2 cases. He was in touch with Musawir Hussain, who is an accused in Al Hind module case. Abdul Matin Taha was one of the main handler of Sharik.
Today morning, we have taken the family members of the suspect to establish his identity. Once they meet, we will be in a position to definitely identify the identity of a suspected person. No, if they establish it is the same fellow whom we are suspecting, then the family members will also be questioned about whatever the details they know.
Farooq Abdullah waded into the controversy and pinned the blame on Centre for growing radicalization.
रेडिकलाइजेशन किसने बढ़ाया बताइए मुझे। कौन हिंदू और मुसलमान और सिखों में अलग बात कर रहा है? कौन ये कह रहा है कि हम लोग अलग अलग हैं? कौन? वही तो रेडिकलाइजेशन कर रहे हैं।
It is also learned that the Mangaluru accused put out pro-Lakshya graffiti in 2020 in Shivamoga. He was arrested and granted bail after a few months. So far, the police have conducted searches at 5 locations across Karnataka, including his home in Mysuru, where materials used to make bombs were seized. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Well, in fact, the first link that is emerging, the existence of an ISIS module down south. It turns out that Abdul Matin Taha is the handler of Sharik. He's suspected to have funded Sharik for the blasts that were conducted. In fact, it is linked to Al Hayat, the module which is responsible for the Shivamoga terror plot. Let me quickly bring in my colleague Prajwal with regards to the development that is taking place. The ISIS sleeper cell module of Al Hayat and the fact that his handler happens to be none other than Abdul Matin Taha. Abdul Matin Taha was also under the scanner of the National Investigation Agency, Prajwal.
Absolutely, Shravan. Now, more and more incriminating details and evidence which is coming in regard to Abdul Matin Taha, who is said to be the key financier for Sharik as well as his associates, Mohammad Yasin and also Maz Munir Ahmad too. Now we are getting to understand that this was the very same, this was the same Abdul Matin Taha who had gone on to finance many terror-funded activities as well in the past, and he had been highly radicalized since 2015, and he was given an objective to go on and form the Al Hind, the ISIS module group out here in Karnataka,
right,
as well as across the entire South Indian belt as well. And therefore, in this particular regard, he had gone on to radicalize Sharik, and he had also financed the terror activities in Shivamoga, and it is now highly suspected that he has gone on to finance even the Mangaluru auto rickshaw blast as well. And the cops are also probing into the funding angle, mainly from the Middle East too, because we go on and clearly understand the fact that the money was coming in from Middle East, and this is said to be one of the most crucial aspects too, because it is not only Sharik's bank accounts that the cops are looking into.
Right. Prajwal, in fact, we're getting in some more details right now with regards to the background of Abdul Taha Matin. Who exactly is this person? A Dubai-based handler of Sharik. In fact, he is a native of Tirtali in Shivamoga, and that's where he also met Sharik, is what we are picking up right now. It is Matin who had instructed Sharik to form a group of people to carry out terror activities in the state. The group was called Al Hind and followed the principles of ISIS. Over to you, Prajwal, as you get more details of the connection between Sharik and Matin.
Now, looking at how everything has gone by, Shravan, now it is being understood that both Abdul Matin Taha, the mentor of Sharik, and Sharik himself, both were residents of Tirtali in Shivamoga, and therefore Abdul Mateen Taha, who is stated to be a mastermind, who is stated to be a mastermind in dark web, was also using cryptocurrency for terror funding activities. Mainly bitcoins is what he dealt in, and he initially started working as an employee at a private broadband company in Bengaluru, but later he quit that and he started his own clothes shop, and later he started working in the dark web. Abdul Mateen Taha has been active since 2015 in respect to these terror activities, and it is being understood that in 2019 he had spoken to Sharik and he had gone about and instructed Sharik that he will have to get many youths to go on and carry out terror plots across South India and mainly concentrate on the coastal belt of Karnataka. And later, this was the very same Abdul Mateen Taha who had gone on to finance the Shimoga terror blasts which had happened where there were blasts which was conducted on the banks of river Tungabhadra in the same pressure cooker type bombs as well. And Abdul Mateen Taha is also an explosive expert, and he was the one who trained Sharik in going and preparing pressure cooker bombs, and he also used to prepare bombs using the phosphorus which was obtained from matchboxes too, Shawan.
Well, in fact, there have been also explosives that have been recovered. In fact, my colleague Prajwal was at the spot where the explosives were found. Take a look at this report filed by Prajwal.
There have been several seizures which has been made by the cops in relation to the Mangaluru blast case, and these are some of the items which has been seized, and we can understand that there are electrical gadgets apart from which there is also a pressure cooker and gas cylinders too which has been put in, and some lighters, and there were also mobile phones too which was put in. This was the gas cylinder that I'm speaking about which was seized from the room of Sharik in Mysuru, and we also have several other artifacts too which has already been taken in by the cops as well, and we can clearly look at it. One of the key items was a triangulation point of an AK-47 vehicle. So this was something, I beg your pardon, an AK-47 gun, a weapon which was kept here, and also several other items too which has been seized and put in here, which were basically mainly chemicals like potassium nitrate, sulfur, as well as phosphor too. So this is very important over here. Some other items which are coming in over here as well. So it is being stated that the amount of weight which is being measured over here is also being seized, and the main the main materials or the ingredients or explosives were seized by the cops from Mysuru, and also they had gone on to conduct raids across several parts of Karnataka now. So it is quite clear that explosives had been seized, phosphorus, sulfur, as well as pressure cooker, gas cylinder, and several other electronic gadgets too has been seized over here. So it's a huge recovery that's also been made by the Mysuru police in connection with the Mangaluru bomb blast case. With video journalist Bhagat, Prajwal Prasad reporting for Republic, Mangaluru.
Well, in fact, what's the ISIS module link that has now emerged in the Mangaluru blast? It turns out that certain PDF files were also recovered from the accused, which has directions of how to make explosives. Now, remember, this is linked to the two accused of the Shimoga terror plot, in which the National Investigation Agency had recovered certain incriminating evidence with regards to certain PDF files, which indicated that they had lessons of how to make explosives and how exactly would they procure the explosives. Those are the details that have emerged so far. In fact, let me bring in my colleague Varshini, who's joining us on this broadcast. Varshini, there appears to be a pattern. As of now, it does look like Sharik was in Coimbatore for some time. He was using a different name altogether. He's procured certain SIM cards, and it is he who had funded the accused in the Shimoga terror plot.
Well, Shavan, it is definitely shocking when each of these revelations come out. The first initial thing that we understand from this is that Sharik also has been in Coimbatore and he's been on the move after the Shivamoga attack. He's been staying in Coimbatore for almost 3 days, and then he moved to Madurai for a couple of days, and then he again moved to Kanyakumari for 1 day. And during his stay in Coimbatore, that was when in this Madi Makar VN home that we also broke about is the place where he stayed, where he befriended Surender, who's now under the custody of the Tamil Nadu police for procuring a SIM card using his Aadhaar card. Sharik has posed as if he is not Sharik and he is somebody else, and he's also said that he does not have an address proof and is in need of a SIM card. Therefore, Surender out of humanity has helped him, is what our sources tell us. But at the same time, it is also highly doubtful that there could be any kind of other meetings that could have taken place in Coimbatore. We cannot completely rule out the fact that just a month ago, only a month ago, they were...
Getting in some more breaking news now coming in that Mateen, the handler of Sharik, was an expert in preparing pressure cooker bombs, and that Sharik had learnt pressure cooker bomb making from Mateen himself. In fact, Abdul Mateen Taha is missing since 2020. He's also indulged in terror activities starting from 2015. He used to prepare bombs using phosphorus from matchsticks, and Abdul Mateen Taha had been entrusted with the responsibility of establishing a base for Al Hind in Karnataka and across South India. That's the latest we are getting in. Sharik was basically part of an active terror network from 2019. He was influenced by his mentor Abdul Mateen Taha. 2 cases were basically registered against Sharik in 2020. One, we were told, on Sharik, who was arrested on 6th of December 2020. Those are the latest details that we are getting in right now of the Mangaluru blast, which is still being probed by the Mangaluru police. In all likelihood, the National Investigation Agency would also step in. Well, a lot of focus essentially has been done as far as the preparedness of the army in the northeastern states are concerned. What is really happening in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, and as well as the volatile border with Myanmar. Speaking to us exclusively is General Rana Pratap Kalita. Yeah, he's also the GOC of the Eastern Army, and he's spoken to my colleague Anirudh, taking us through the details of the army preparedness in the northeastern states.
Right now on this broadcast, I am joined by GOC in Chief of Eastern Army Command, Lieutenant General Rana Pratap Kalita. General Kalita, what has been the focus this year as far as the Purvottar Swabhiman Sammelan is concerned?
You see, this is part of the overall gamut of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So when we are planning out various events for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, so I realized that there is a need to increase bonhomie among the civilian population and the armed forces. There is a need to change the perception among the common populace about the armed forces. So all the activities that we have been doing as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is to firstly bring the common people closer to the armed forces, celebrate the Azadi together, 75 years of Azadi together, and participate together in various events, whether it is adventure expedition or cultural events or mountaineering expeditions. Then we also recently had Duran Cup, which was conducted here in Guwahati and Imphal. We had sailing and rowing regatta, which was held in Umiam Lake of Meghalaya. So such like activities have been organized as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So it is culminating into the 2 days event, which has been organized for over last 2 days, yesterday and today. Primarily, this is to highlight the contribution of the people of Northeast towards nation building, right from independence till the present day.
You have spoken about civil and military cooperation. As far as civil and military cooperation is concerned in the Northeast particularly, which had been a hotbed of insurgency once upon a time, we have seen that things are gradually changing. it has improved a lot. From the time you joined the forces to commanding the Eastern Command, what changes you have witnessed personally in this region?
Yeah, there has been a lot of changes. You see, when I joined the force, the area was not that well developed. Infrastructure was not that not up to the level in which one could see in the other parts of the country. The areas, most of the part of the states of Northeast were infected with terrorism and insurgency movement. So now you see this peace has returned. Violence parameters have gone down drastically. Only in certain places some remnants of the insurgency are still there. But generally people have realized the fruits of peace and development. And I would say that the support of the population for the insurgency movement has completely died down. That is why you see a drastic reduction in the violence and parameters. And people are yearning for peace and development, particularly the young generation, which are the future of the tomorrow.
Apart from the internal affairs, we are a place of very strategic importance. Recently, Army Chief had held consultation with the Bhutanese commander. How do you think the ties with Bhutan will help in, help in holding India against the expansionist move of China?
You see, we are not. We have a very good relationship with Bhutan that goes back, centuries. There is a people-to-people contact. The relationship between both nations, independent nations, are thriving, whether in terms of politically, economically, trade, and among the population as well. So there is no question of using one nation against the third nation. The foreign relationship is based on bilateral relationship. So we are having an excellent relationship with Bhutan.
As far as the Eastern Theatre is concerned, over the last few years, we have seen that the focus of the Indian Army has shifted, including that of all the forces, also the Air Force, have shifted towards the Eastern Theatre mostly. How have been the preparation as far as Arunachal Pradesh is also concerned? Because of late we have been, there are reports in several media that incursions have been taking place in Arunachal Pradesh, but we have also seen how at times these reports turn out to be fake. So how are you preparing to fight fake news as well as the movement of China along the LSE?
You see, firstly, a lot of changes have taken place in last about couple of decades. A lot of infrastructure development has taken place not only in Arunachal, even the other bordering states as well, particularly in Northeast. Even in Assam, the base infrastructure has developed quite a lot. Connectivity in terms of the road, communication, airways, everywhere we see drastic improvement. And that obviously facilitates and enhances our op capability. So if
the Karbi Anglon police. A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex-gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway, in which several people suffered injuries, with 8 of them being hospitalized. The accident occurred at the Navale Bridge after a suspected brake failure. Emergency operations by the fire department were carried out successfully after a fire broke out at the temple of Raja Gopuru in Bhadrakali Amman Temple in Sivakasi in Virudhunagar in Tamil Nadu. And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner Aftab Poonawala move to Delhi and provided luggage shifting service to the accused. A Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawalla within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police
Terrorist Sharik posed with the bomb before the attack. Republic exposes the plot. Mangaluru blast accused Sharik was arrested and let off on bail for a pro-Lashkar graffiti in 2020. From Coimbatore to Mangaluru, jihadi terror in South India cannot be ignored anymore. Fugitive Zakir Naik invited for FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Will the Indian government take a stand? Second CCTV of killer Aftab from the 18th of October emerges. He's seen walking with a backpack at 4 a.m. Ammonia gas leak reported in a cold drink plant in Kolkata. Cooling operations underway. Very good evening and thank you for tuning in. You're watching the news at 6:30. I'm Suesha Samant and we begin with this edition with getting you details of how reports are coming in on fugitive terror backer Zakir Naik, who has been invited to the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Naik is accused of money laundering and hate speech in India. Now, according to social media posts, he will also deliver religious lectures throughout the competition. He is to deliver sermons at the FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar after he was sent an invite. And this is now raising many questions on whether the Indian government will take a position on this, whether this will be raised in Qatar and even with the FIFA organization. Should India raise this issue strongly? Let's not forget how Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar is present in Qatar. He is also there for the FIFA World Cup representing India and being the representative rather for India. But is this really time to play diplomatic, or India should object and take a strong position with the Qatar government on Zakir Naik not just being sent invite, but also the very fact that he will be delivering religious lectures in Qatar during this time. He has arrived in Qatar and he is there to spread Islam. Remember, at this point, a 2016 video of him that is also going viral on how he encourages conversion and how he's radicalized many. And now this is the very question where all eyes are on the Indian government on whether they will now raise this issue. Zakir Naik being sent an invite for the FIFA World Cup in Qatar, and a lot of posts on social media on the very same. Senior Executive Editor Abhishek Kapoor joining us live on the broadcast. Abhishek, well, India is certainly in a tight spot. All eyes on the government on whether they will raise this in Qatar. Let's not forget how Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar is already present there. Is this time to play diplomatic, or is this time to now talk serious on this? Abhishek?
I think I missed your question, Suesha, but obviously we are discussing Zakir Naik's presence in Qatar during the FIFA World Cup, and this is an absolutely undiplomatic move. Of course, not the first time that the Qataris are doing this. Remember, they had given refuge to MF Hussain, for example, and We have seen them hosting Zakir Naik himself for the longest period of time. Remember, Zakir Naik is someone who's banned from entry into the United Kingdom, into Canada, into India. He's being prosecuted in India for money laundering and hate speech, among other crimes. And he's wanted by Indian agencies. And in that situation, for Qatar to really go ahead and invite and make him a state guest almost is absolutely in contravention of diplomatic norms, particularly when India's Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar was also an invitee and happens to be there in Doha and on Qatari soil. So obviously that puts India in a bit of a bind because any diplomatic response, perhaps has to wait till the time that the Vice President is out of Qatari airspace, at least, if not later. But what is important is that, if not earlier, and what is important is that, Qatar is effectively using FIFA World Cup to really project a certain picture, not just of their nation, but of their religion as well. And that's something which is being taken note of by the world itself. Zakir Naik is someone who has earlier, in fact, spoken against football itself. And for him to be almost treated as a state guest and a special invitee during the FIFA World Cup makes a mockery of world opinion about Zakir Naik. But so far as India's diplomatic response is concerned, we are told that we have to wait for a while. But the kind of public pressure that's building up, Suesha, and the opinion that's gaining ground, I think sooner or later, and as I said, the impediment is the fact that the Vice President of India happens to be in Qatar. The Ministry of External Affairs would be taking a position on this.
Absolutely, and very many questions, Abhishek, staring at the Indian government on whether they should be playing diplomatic, because let's not forget Zakir Naik is in the Islamic nation of Qatar, where the Indian government also shares good relations with their government. And what really should be the way forward, the Republic is really looking at all the angles. Let's play out this next sequence, Abhishek.
Now, reports are emerging of how Zakir Naik has been invited to Qatar during the period of World Cup. A wanted fugitive in India has been invited to deliver lectures throughout the World Cup extravaganza. Founder of the banned outfit in India, IRF, has also been involved in radicalization, forcible conversions, justifying the suicide bombings, among others. Naik is directly responsible for radicalizing youth and is banned in many Islamic countries and India. While he's wanted in India for hate speech and money laundering, many who've been arrested for ISIS links have been inspired by Naik. Not just this, Hashim, who's a leader of NTJ terror group behind Easter bombings, even praised Naik, and the 2016 Dhaka attack terrorists were also radicalized by Zakir Naik. In fact, UK barred Zakir Naik in 2010 for inflammatory remarks in the past. While Qatar has banned all the incoming tourists for FIFA World Cup from bringing any kind of religious books, it has allowed Zakir Naik to peddle hate. Zakir Naik's record on hate speech is this. On other faith, Naik said Muslims shouldn't allow propagation of any other religion. And Naik even backed Osama bin Laden. He said, and I quote, "Osama is not a terrorist at all. George Bush is #1 terrorist," unquote. The question is it time India calls out Qatar for inviting fugitive Zakir Naik? What does a man who is involved in radicalization and has links to terror attacks have to do with World Cup at all?
And on to other stories in brief. Another evidence recovered in Mangaluru blast, a picture of the main accused Sharik that has recovered. The photo in which Sharik is seen posing with the pressure cooker bomb. Remember, the pieces of pressure cooker were found post the blast in Mangaluru.
And they are giving the best treatment, and we are hopeful that condition of Purushottam Pujari, who is the victim, is 59 years old. And he is having heart ailments, but doctors are very sure that he is also having some 20%, 25% burn injuries. His leg, his both hands, 4 hands. So that is having burn injuries, and his face, that is also burned. So we hope that he will recover very fast. And so far as this suspect is concerned, he has got some 40 to 45% burn injuries. And we have requested, and since yesterday evening only, my Commissioner Sasi Kumar and other officers, Ansu and everyone, we are trying our best that he should be given the best treatment and he should survive because he needs to be questioned. And his identity, since he is not in a position to speak as of now, and he is under treatment, we cannot force him to speak. So we have not been able to establish his identity with certainty. So.
Former National Conference Chief Farooq Abdullah speaks on Mangaluru blast but indirectly blames the centre for it. Farooq questions who increased radicalization and division among religious groups, pointing this at the ruling party.
This is a problem only the security and the intelligence people can now find out what is the reason for the blast.
सर रेडिकलाइजेशन बढ़ रहा है सर आपको लगता है?
रेडिकलाइजेशन किसने बढ़ाया बताइए मुझे। कौन हिंदू और मुसलमान और सिखों में अलग बात कर रहा है? कौन ये कह रहा है कि हम लोग अलग अलग हैं? कौन? वही तो रेडिकलाइजेशन कर रहे हैं।
CBI has registered preliminary inquiry in alleged football fixing case. Now, according to sources, CBI visited Delhi-based All India Football Federation headquarters and sought more information about the clubs and their investments in connection with alleged match fixing in football. A Congress MLA from Madhya Pradesh's Dhar has been booked in the alleged rape case. An FIR under rape has been registered. He also has been accused of mentally harassing the woman. A second CCTV footage of Shraddha murder accused Aftab has been accessed. In that, dated on the 18th of October around 4 a.m., Aftab is seen walking in the wee hours of the morning, spotted with a backpack. The police suspects that Aftab was on his way to dispose the body parts of Shraddha. In a massive breakthrough in Shraddha murder case, some parts of the skull have been recovered. Meanwhile, Delhi police has moved the application of carrying out polygraph test of the accused Aftab Poonawalla. A narco test will be conducted only after the polygraph test is done. It is a second news sting by the BJP against the Aam Aadmi Party over Vasuli Gate claim. BJP has claimed that Aam Aadmi Party's Saurabh Bhardwaj, Gopal Rai and Atishi are involved. BJP claims that Gopal Rai's aide demanded cash for ticket in installments. BJP also claims that 80 lakh rupees were offered for Rohini ticket. BJP demanded the arrest of Aam Aadmi Party MLAs.
पार्टी के दफ्तर के अंदर से आम आदमी पार्टी के नेताओं के बीच में से जिस प्रकार के स्टिंग उभर कर आ रहे हैं, ये अपने आप में दिखाता है कि भ्रष्टाचार के दलदल में अरविंद केजरीवाल जी और उनकी आम आदमी पार्टी आज डूबी हुई है, पूरी तरह से सनी हुई है।
A big murder mystery that was solved in Rewa by the cops, where a man was allegedly killed on the 3rd of October 2021 over molestation. Police has found his skeleton in February and found 80 scattered bones in the jungle of Rewa. The deceased was identified with the help of Aadhaar card and now the accused has been nabbed. Police arrested a political critic, Kishore K. Swamy, in Tamil Nadu for criticizing Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. BJP called the DMK government fascist. Swamy had put out tweets on social media criticizing Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin and was booked by the Cybercrime Branch earlier this month. Following this, Kishore moved a pre-bail petition in the Sessions Court. The petition, however, was denied yesterday and today he was arrested by the police. After Republic's newsbreak on the Tihar tapes, Republic tracked down former Tihar jail DG, under whom the jail minister of Aam Aadmi Party was given the massage inside jail. He's now been transferred. Republic confronted the jail official, but he refused to comment on the explosive video. With that, we slip into a short commercial break. On the other side, we get you details of how the investigation is on in full swing from Coimbatore to Mangaluru. Jihadi terror in South India is a reality that cannot be ignored anymore. Also, ammonia gas leak reported in a cold drink plant in Kolkata. Cooling operations are underway. We get you more on this on the other side. Stay with us.
झाके रे झाके झरोखे से झाके हैरत से आंखें अपनी सी दुनिया नई रंगी लागे ख्यालों की खिड़की से मन कूदे भागे झाके रे झाके झरोखे से झाके दंग है छोटे बड़े सारे झाके रे झाके हर कोई ताके तरक्की को टुक टुक हर कोई ताके झाके रे झाके
Reimagineering brighter futures with smarter steels. ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India. Smarter steels, brighter futures.
30 to 40% of the people who didn't even know they had diabetes had soaring sugar levels.
To help India beat diabetes, BITO has collaborated with Lions Club International to conduct diabetes screening camps all over India to create awareness and control this silent epidemic.
आपने शुगर चेक की क्या?
Get your diabetes care program with a free BITO glucometer. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner Aftab Poonawala move to Delhi and provided luggage shifting service to the accused. A Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawala within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police earlier recorded statements of Shraddha's best friend Shivani Mahatre and Karan Beheri, former manager of Shraddha, along with 4 others in connection with this case. Days after Shraddha's case,
सर बहुत बड़ी ये एक मर्डर मिस्ट्री है जिसको आपने सुलझाया, कितना वक्त लगा?
करीब हम लोगों को 72 घंटे के आसपास ये वक्त लगा मर्डर मिस्ट्री सुलझाने में, क्योंकि बच्ची का आइडेंटिफिकेशन नहीं हो पाया। आइडेंटिफिकेशन होने में समय लगा और उसके बाद हम लोगों ने इसको सुलझा लिया।
कितनी टीम लगी हुई?
14 टीमें हमारी लगी हुई थी आइडेंटिफिकेशन से लेकर कार्यवाही तक के लिए।
कौन सी धाराओं में मुकदमा दर्ज हुआ?
मुकदमा 302 और 201 में दर्ज हुआ है।
अभी जो आरोपी हैं उनका वो आरोप कैसे सिद्ध हुआ, कहाँ से आपको लीड मिलती चलेगी?
आइडेंटिफिकेशन होने के बाद प्रथम दृष्टया वहाँ पर फोटो देख के इन लोगों ने पहचानने से इनकार कर रहे थे, लेकिन उसका भाई पहचाना, जो कि माइनर है, लेकिन उसने पहचाना और उसने कहा कि ये मेरी ही बहन है। फिर उसके भाई और उसकी माँ को हम लोग ले आए यहाँ पर, डेड बॉडी जब उनको दिखाए तो उन लोगों ने पहचाना दोनों लोगों ने, और फिर हम लोगों को आगे लीड मिलती गई।
आयुषी यादव को उसके माता पिता ने ही मौत के घाट उतारा, उसके पीछे वजह क्या रही?
वजह ये रही कि वो आर्य समाज मंदिर में किसी छत्रपाल नाम के लड़के से शादी कर ली थी, जो माँ बाप को मंजूर नहीं था और बिना इनकी जानकारी के की थी।
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed by and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot. A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept her body in the car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur, with the incident coming to light after a foul smell began emanating from the car in which the body was kept. The police have arrested the suspect and a probe has been initiated. The Karbi Anglon police. A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported following the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway, in which several people suffered injuries, with 8 of them being hospitalized. The accident occurred at the Navale bridge after a suspected brake failure. Emergency operations by the fire department were carried out successfully after a fire broke out at the temple of Raja Gopuram in Bhadrakali Amman temple in Sivakasi in Virudhunagar in Tamil Nadu.
China announced its first new death from COVID-19 in nearly half a year as strict new measures are imposed in Beijing and across the country to ward against new outbreaks. The death was that of an 87-year-old Beijing man, with the case being the first reported by the National Health Commission since May 26. The casualty brings the country's death toll to over 5,000. The previous death was reported in Shanghai, which underwent a major surge in cases over the summer. Such a vulnerability is being considered one reason why China has been keeping its borders closed and sticking with its rigid zero-COVID policy that seeks to wipe out infections through lockdowns, quarantines, case tracing and mass testing. Protests, however, remain with regard to the impact on normal life and the economy due to the measures, leading to rising public anger at the authorities. Agency report, Republic TV.
झाके रे झाके झरोखे से झाके हैरत से आंखें अपनी सी दुनिया नई रंगी लागे ख्यालों की खिड़की से मन कूदे भागे झाके रे झाके झरोखे से झाके दंग है छोटे बड़े सारे झाके रे झाके हर कोई ताके तरक्की को टुक टुक हर कोई ताके झाके रे झाके
Reimagineering brighter futures with smarter steels. ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India. Smarter steels, brighter futures.
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
The Karbi Anglon police. A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported following the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway, in which several people suffered injuries, with 8 of them being hospitalized. The accident occurred at the Navale bridge after a suspected brake failure. Emergency operations by the fire department were carried out successfully after a fire broke out at the temple of Raja Gopuram in Bhadrakali.
बीजेपी is demanding more stricter actions against Akhil Giri, this person, this MLA, who had uttered all these words against the president. BJP, especially its Mahila Morcha wing, we can see Loket Chatterjee, as you pointed out. Apart from that, we also see Agnimitra Paul, and also is present Shukanto Mojumdar, state BJP president. On the other hand, there are actually two rallies. Just to remind you, one rally is coming from the Assembly of West Bengal. Shubhendu Adhikari is leading that rally. Another rally from going towards Dharmatala is planned from Central Avenue BJP office. These two rallies, huge, enormous rallies with supporters, BJP supporters and Mahila Morcha workers demanding strict actions against Akhil Giri. And they are demanding not only actions but to remove Akhil Giri from his positions. These two rallies are supposed to meet at his planet, and they will be sitting for a dharna, for a protest against Akhil Giri.
To 40% of the people who didn't even know they had diabetes had soaring sugar levels.
To help India beat diabetes, BITO has collaborated with Lions Club International to conduct diabetes screening camps all over India to create awareness and control this silent epidemic.
आपने शुगर चेक की क्या?
Get your diabetes care program with a free BITO glucometer. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner Aftab Poonawala move to Delhi and provided luggage shifting service to the accused. A Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawala within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police earlier recorded statements of Shraddha's best friend Shivani Mahatre and Karan Beheri, former manager of Shraddha, along with 4 others in connection with this case. Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot. A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept her body in the car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur, with the incident coming to light after a foul smell began emanating from the car in which the body was kept. The police have arrested the suspect and a probe has been initiated. The Karbi Anglon police. A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex-gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai.
In 2020, the same Sharik, now arrested for the blast in Mangaluru, put out graffiti saying he would invite Lashkar and Taliban to teach Sangis and Manuwadis a lesson. 2 years later, he carries out a blast, he poses with a cooker bomb and he's in jail. That's our biggest story tonight at 7 p.m.
Hate preacher Zakir Naik, charge-sheeted by the National Investigation Agency as well as the Enforcement Directorate, named in the Easter bombings and the Dhaka blast, gets a formal invite during the FIFA World Cup. Should India register a protest? Join me on The Burning Question at 8:30 p.m.
Thank you for joining us on the biggest story tonight. I'm Niranjan, and all of today, this Monday, we've been getting you details of the Mangaluru
blast investigation. Now it was a terror attack. Like we said in 2017, when we launched Republic TV, Republic had broadcast the ISIS tapes when we had stung Abdullah Basit, a member of the ISIS module. The same case, similar example, similar fallout, leading to what has happened in Mangaluru. We'll tell you all about that. The links that are emerging this evening. Here are the headlines on the biggest story tonight. Bomber Sharik's picture from Mangaluru posing with a cooker bomb is out. Sharik wrote in 2020 on a wall that Lashkar will handle Sanghis. Sharik was released in 2021. He carried out the plot in 2022, similar to all the ISIS suspects who were first picked up and then released in India. ISIS module we exposed in 2017 in Hyderabad is back to haunt in 2022. We'll tell you all the details on the biggest story tonight. Mangaluru after Coimbatore, is there a bigger threat in the south? The imprint of ISIS modules in over 10 cities. Zakir Naik invited by Qatar. India is in a tight spot at a time when the Vice President is in Qatar. India likely to raise the issue of Zakir Naik after Vice President Dhankar's return. The Vice President is currently in Qatar meeting the Indian diaspora. He was there on the invite of Qatar. Thank you for joining us on the show tonight. Never before in India's history have we seen blasts being captured on camera, the bomber being captured on camera, the bomber posing with a bomb on camera before the blast was triggered on camera. What's happened in Mangaluru today is telling you the story of how we allowed ISIS suspects, terror suspects, just slip out of our sight to go on and carry out these attacks. In fact, the probe into the November 19 explosion in Karnataka's Mangaluru is expanding across several southern states as the global terrorist organization inspired key suspect behind the blast is believed to have visited Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and police teams are looking into possible local accomplices and links to the native of Tirthalli in Karnataka. Mohammad Sharik, hailing from Tirthalli in Shivamogga district in Karnataka, was traveling in an auto rickshaw. We had that video. It's a packaged video of him traveling in that auto rickshaw. 3 videos that Republic TV accessed and broke over the weekend. We have full details of that. How a pressure cooker fitted with a detonator, wires, batteries exploded on the outskirts of Mangaluru. In the last few days, the story is unraveling, and let's tell you part by part. Let's show you the picture first. The first picture of how he posed with a cooker even before the blast. He posed with a cooker before the blast. And that is that picture. We don't have the date, but this was a picture found by the investigators when they were probing the role of Sharik. Let's show you the graffiti. Why is Sharik important? This man was arrested in 2020. Let's show you the graffiti that he put out on a wall. In 2020, he had written, "Do not force us." Look at that picture. He had written, "Do not force us to invite Lashkar-e-Toiba and Taliban to deal with Sanghis and Manuwadis," with the hashtag Lashkar Zindabad. Look at that. That was his message. Do not force us to invite Lashkar-e-Toiba and Taliban to deal with Sanghis and Manuwadis. Hashtag Lashkar Zindabad. Not just that, you compare what happened in 2020 and 2022. And it tells you the story of on how if you go soft, if you let him off. For that graffiti in 2020, Sharik, the bomber on your right, was arrested and let off in 2021. He was arrested for that graffiti, for the terror warning. And in 2021, he was granted bail. And in 2022, the same Sharik who wrote on a wall that Lashkar-e-Toiba and Taliban will deal with Sanghis and Manuwadis with the hashtag Lashkar-e-Zindabad, went on to carry out the blast, posed with that cooker bomb and took it in an auto rickshaw which exploded in Mangaluru. That's the lesson. You go soft on terror, you let terror suspects out of your sight. If you grant them bail, if you let them get away, this is what happens. Now let's tell you what has been found from this terrorist with a cooker bomb. Look at that. A 9-volt batteries from his terror factory. 9-volt batteries. Black powder in a plastic bag. Brown substance in a red pouch. A chemical labeled acaricide. Crystal-like white substance. Dark brown substance in a pouch. Nuts and bolts in a pack. More nuts and bolts. More nuts and bolts. Silver foil. Silver type aluminium powder. A trigger, that's the trigger timer circuit board with a display on it. This is the back side of it, the trigger timer circuit board. White solid substance and a yellow liquid in a bottle. All of this was found from his terror bomb factory. All of this was found from his terror bomb factory. And let's also tell you that these recoveries in the case raising questions about what really is going on. Let's show you that full frame, the map of the dangerous imprint. The dangerous imprint of a terrorist called Sharik and a terror group called ISIS. In Shivamogga, this terrorist drew terror graffiti. This was in 2020. And in Mysuru, in Karnataka, this terrorist stayed in the city for several days before moving to Mangaluru. The action moves to Mangaluru, where he was just about to carry out a blast, a cooker blast. And in Bengaluru today, Sharik's aides, this bomber's aides, have been arrested. There have been raids conducted in Coimbatore. In Coimbatore, Sharik has been staying there for about 3 days, according to the information that we have. The action also in Madurai in Tamil Nadu, where the bomber stayed for about 2 days. Not just in Madurai, he also went to Kanyakumari. Did he hire any terrorists there? Did he get in touch with more terrorists, terror suspects? Sharik stayed there for a day. And in Chennai, as we speak, ISIS-linked raids have been underway for the last few days. And this is the biggest wake-up call, ladies and gentlemen, that if you go soft on terror, you risk an attack. What happened in Coimbatore and what is happening in Mangaluru today is an example that when you arrest someone, you let them off. And that's the threat that India faces. Let's tell you that you tolerate terror. This is what happened. In 2020, he put out a terror graffiti. In 2022, he's nothing but a terrorist. In December 2020, he was arrested for the graffiti. July 2021, he was released on bail. And in 2022, he causes the blast. That's more about Sharik the bomber. Let's go across to our reporters tracking the story from Coimbatore to Mangaluru. Let's go across to Prajwal. Prajwal, tracking the story. Prajwal, tell us about his links. Is it possible that he was operating alone in Mangaluru? He puts out a graffiti in 2020, right? And that graffiti is on the wall in Shivamogga, one district of Karnataka. And he was working in a garment shop that was run by his father, owned by his father. He was working there. He's let off on bail in 2021. He goes to Mysuru. He goes to other districts of Karnataka, eventually carries out the blast in Mangaluru. It's possible that he operated alone. It's not possible, rather, that he operated alone, right? They spoke of international handlers. Who are these international handlers? Do we have details? Prajwal.
Niranjan, absolutely, because we have been highlighting the fact that the financial aspect of this entire terror issue lies with their handlers who are abroad, who are absconding, who also hail from Tirthalli. One of the major primary handlers of Sharik, Mohammad Sharik, is Abdul Mateen Taha, who is also a resident of Tirthalli in Shivamogga, and he had gone on to provide financial support. Now, Abdul Mateen Taha's main intention was to form the Al-Hind group of the ISIS module, and he was entrusted with this responsibility that he will have to establish a base for the module, not only in Karnataka, but also across South India. And later, he radicalized youth like Maz Munir Ahmad, Mohammad Sharik, as well as Syed Yasin too. And these three were the ones who had gone on to conduct trial blasts in Shivamogga. And these very trial blasts in Shivamogga had gone on to become a reality in Mangaluru in the form of a pressure cooker which blew up in an auto rickshaw on the 19th of November. Now, what we also understand over here, Niranjan, is the fact that Abdul Mateen Taha has been absconding since 2020, where he was wanted by the NIA, the Q branch from the Tamil Nadu police, in regarding to a murder of a police officer, a sub-inspector Wilson from Tamil Nadu, and two people had been arrested, Shadabuddin and Siraj, who had gone on to be arrested by the cops. But since then, Abdul Mateen Taha, as well as Arafat Ali, one of the other handlers of Mohammad Sharik too, has been absconding over here, and they have been allegedly going on and pumping money from the Middle East. And Sharik, as you were earlier pointing out, Niranjan, the graffiti case is very important here, because it is being understood that Sharik was instructed on a WhatsApp group based out of Pune by the admin to go on and write these graffitis on the wall of a private apartment as well as on the walls of a local court. And that is when he was taken into custody in December, but he was let off on a bail in September 2021. And later, as you were clearly pointing out, all these terror events across Karnataka has unfolded, mainly led by Mohammad Sharik.
Yeah. Stay with me. Let me go across to Varshini as well for the Coimbatore links. In fact, there are several cities in Tamil Nadu where this bomber visited, and he perhaps met a few people there. There are links to Coimbatore where there were blasts last month. What do we know about the direct links between these two blasts? Are there any, Varshini?
Well, Niranjan, if you see, the situation in Coimbatore is definitely not very, intense after what happened exactly 1 month ago. We cannot, leave it that easily, because it was a very, very similar incident from yesterday. We've been trying to, check the resemblance between these two incidents, and particularly if you see Sharik visiting Coimbatore, staying there in a lodging facility for almost 3 days and befriending a random stranger called Surender, and even he was able to introduce himself as a fake person, and he was even able to help this person, this stranger, he was able to persuade him to get him a SIM card with his Aadhaar credentials, which is definitely very shocking, and it even seems very planned. And now from Coimbatore he travels to Madurai and stays there for a couple of days, and again he travels to Kanyakumari in Nagarkoil, and he also stays for 1 day, and then he goes back to Mangaluru. So this is definitely, it looks like he was on a move, on a hunt. We are just trying to join the dots that's going on here. Though the Tamil Nadu police are strictly denying any kind of linking between the blast that happened in Coimbatore and the Mangalore blast that happened today, but the things that keep coming out, the information that we are able to get out of these investigations that's currently ongoing, definitely seems like there was some planning that went through behind all these. His travel through the state of Tamil Nadu to the different parts.
1 minute, Varshini, just be with me.
In the state of Tamil Nadu.
Varshini, just be with me. Shavan is also joining us live on the broadcast. So before I go across to Shavan, in 2017 when Republic TV launched, we had broken the story of the ISIS tapes. Now in the ISIS tapes, we had stung a terror suspect called Abdullah Basit, who was part of an ISIS module. Now, why are we talking about Abdullah Basit in 2017? Because when we exposed those tapes, we were criticized for it. Eventually, Abdullah Basit was picked up and released. And in 2018, he was arrested again. And today, when modules are being busted in Hyderabad and in Tamil Nadu, direct links to Abdullah Basit are emerging. I want to play out a small tape of Abdullah Basit and we'll go across to Shawan joining us on the broadcast.
Ma'am, I was...
Muhammad Ibn Al-Bara, the Syrian origin Australian guy.
I'm saying, maybe I was in contact with him because I was in contact with 100 guys.
100 ISIS guys.
100 ISIS guys, even, but I don't remember.
What was your route?
That was a small clip. We'll play more of that later. I'll go across to Shawan. Shawan, what does this tell us about the ISIS module? Shawan. Let's listen in. Before I go across to Shawan or Varshini or Prajwal, I'd like to play out what the police also said. The police believe that there is a larger module. There is a larger module. They believe that there are global handlers. There are handlers based in Dubai. There are handlers perhaps even in India. Let's play out what the police has said today on the investigation so far.
Search the premise, they search the house, and they have found a lot of explosive materials, whether it is sulfur, whether it is phosphorus, matchboxes, then nuts and bolts, circuits. So all sort of things we have found there. And we have come to know the sources of it because some purchases have been online and some purchases offline. So we have got the evidence of it. So we are working on it. So now his immediate handler was Arafat Ali, who is accused in this Mangalore North Police Station case and Mangalore East Police Station case. And apart from that, he was in touch with one Musawwir Hussain, who also happens to be an accused person in Sudgante Palya 10/20 UAPA case, the case which was supposed to be this Al-Hind module that was called. So in that case, Abdul Mateen Taha, he is one of the accused person, and Musawwir Hussain, both resident of Tirthalli, they are accused persons, but they are absconding. So Abdul Mateen Taha is also absconding, and he is the main handler as of now, as per our information, of Sariq. But Sariq is in touch with some 2-3 other persons who are yet to be identified. So we have formed different teams. There are 2 operational teams, and there is one interrogation team, there is one investigation team, one is CDR analysis team, and one is digital forensic team. So 5 teams are there, and they are working on it. Today morning, 4 places have been searched in Tirthalli town of Simoga district and 1 place in Mangalore city. Yesterday, 2 places were searched, one in T. Narsipura and Mysore city. Yesterday, 2 places were searched. So,
Shawan joining us on the broadcast. Shawan, tell us what happened in the Abdullah Basit case, because in several cases in the last few weeks, there is a link to this ISIS module. Abdullah Basit's name has come up again and again. What do we know about the ISIS links in this case?
Well, in fact, Niranjan, as far as Abdullah Basit is concerned, remember he was already arrested by the National Investigation Agency, and technically in these cases that have come up, it appears that there is a different module that has been at work. Now, important to point out is the fact that following the arrest of Abdullah Basit and several others in that particular module from Karnataka, what we essentially witnessed was that there were several other sleeper cells that were still operating, and that's exactly what we are witnessing today. What my colleague Prajwal was also indicating, the formation of this module called Al-Hind, in which you've had the accused from the Shivamoga terror plot, they were part of this entire module. And the fact that Sharik was the one who had funded both the accused of the Shivamoga terror plot to carry out the recce at various parts of Karnataka, so that these could essentially become the potential targets. And that once again brings to the core issue that whether at all there are certain sleeper cells in states like Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala for that matter, because they believe that several of them have been radicalized over a period of time, and that's been the larger cause of concern for the National Investigation Agency. And there is a pattern that is now emerging. While the Tamil Nadu police has essentially tried to distance themselves by simply saying that there is no link that has emerged so far, but having said that, can anyone really dissociate themselves from the fact that these are sleeper cells which have been activated and they have been operating in states like Karnataka and particularly in Tamil Nadu? If you take a look at what has happened in Coimbatore, the fact of the matter is that, you know, on a single day, there were at least 3 attacks that have actually taken place. It was not widely reported, but having said that, that has been a cause of concern, even in a city like Coimbatore, where they believe that several of these ISIS sleeper cells, they have been activated, and the fact that they've carried out attacks, at least there has been a planning of attacks to be carried out in states like Tamil Nadu and Karnataka.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. And before we take a short break, I'd like to play out the 3 videos of the blast itself in Mangaluru when we broke it around this time on Saturday, exactly about 48 hours back. Let's play those videos full frame. That's the blast on camera of the auto rickshaw at 4:29 p.m. At 4:29 p.m. That's when the blast was reported on Saturday. There is a second video. Let's show you the second video. It's a much clearer video of CCTV 4:29 p.m. Look at that. Suddenly, you can see the flames on the corner of your screen. That's when people rush to the site post the blast. You can see that. The video on the right, top right, and that's the second video of the blast that emerged on Saturday evening. Let's show you the third video. There's a third video that we have. A third video. That is Sharik. Sharik there, not wearing a shirt, moving towards the same auto rickshaw. That is the auto rickshaw which was used, in which the cooker blast was placed in the passenger section. The cooker blast is placed, and Sharik was seen in this particular video. So you have the blast, the bomber, and the bomber posing with the bomb. And all of it has been captured on camera, and the links are so clear in this particular case. And in 2020, before I take a short break, let's look at the graffiti once again. What he put out on a wall in 2020, we should have seen the writing on the wall. We should have seen the writing on the wall in 2020. He wrote, that was Sharik's terror graffiti in 2020. Let's show you once again what he said. He said, "Do not force us to invite Lashkar-e-Toiba and Taliban to deal with Sangis and Manuwadis. Hashtag Lashkar Zindabad." This is what he wrote on a wall. The writing was on the wall. Taking a short break on the biggest story tonight. Stay tuned.
Hate preacher Zakir Naik, charge-sheeted by the National Investigation Agency as well as the Enforcement Directorate, named in the Easter bombings and the Dhaka blast, gets a formal invite during the FIFA World Cup. Should India register a protest? Join me on the burning question at 8:30 p.m.
झाके रे झाके झरोखे से झाके हैरत से ये आंखें अपनी सी दुनिया नई रंगी लागे ख्यालों की खिड़की से मन कूदे भागे झाके रे झाके झरोखे से झाके देख के दंग है छोटे बड़े सारे झाके रे झाके हर कोई ताके तरक्की को टुक टुक हर कोई ताके झाके रे झाके झरोखे से झाके
Reimagineering brighter futures with smarter steels. ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India. Smarter steels, brighter futures.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot. A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept her body in the car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur, with the incident coming to light after a foul smell began emanating from the car in which the body was kept. The police have arrested the suspect and a probe has been initiated. The Karbi Anglon police. A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex-gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway in which several people...
Thank you for staying with us on the biggest story tonight. Quick check of the other top stories we're tracking this evening from across the country. Now, as far as Kejriwal goes, he responded to the Tihar tapes, and Kejriwal said that his leader, Satyendra Jain, was simply getting a physiotherapy. He too continues to maintain the physiotherapy angle, denying the massage that you saw in the videos on Saturday. The Congress party, which criticized the government for not contesting the release of the Rajiv Gandhi assassins, has now decided to file a review petition. The Aftab polygraph test has now been allowed. The Delhi police wanted to carry out a polygraph test even before the narco analysis can be conducted, and the polygraph test will be held first, but the date is not known yet. The police in Maharashtra is also under the scanner. In fact, we asked the police, especially in Vasai, where Aftab was staying, on why they did not file an FIR or investigate Aftab when the first complaints came in the year 2020. We asked them some questions today. They chose to remain silent.
Hate preacher Zakir Naik, charge-sheeted by the National Investigation Agency as well as the Enforcement Directorate, named in the Easter bombings and the Dhaka blast, gets a formal invite during the FIFA World Cup. Should India register a protest? Join me on the burning question at 8:30 p.m.
Reimagineering brighter futures with smarter steels. ArcelorMittal, Nippon Steel India. Smarter steels, brighter futures.
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
The Karbi Anglon police... A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway in which several people suffered injuries, with 8 of them being hospitalized. The accident occurred at the Navale Bridge after a suspected brake failure. Emergency operations by the fire department were carried out successfully after a fire broke out at the temple of Raja Gopuram in Bhadrakali Amman temple in Sivakasi in Virudhunagar in Tamil Nadu. And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner Aftab Poonawala move to Delhi and provided luggage shifting service to the accused. A Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawala within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police earlier recorded statements of Shraddha's best friend Shivani Mahatre and Karan Beheri, former manager of Shraddha, along with 4 others in connection with this case.
An important day today because the Delhi police will like to conduct the narco test of Aftab. There will also be a polygraph test.
Shariq's family members who are arriving in Mangaluru. Shariq is the accused in the Mangaluru blast case.
Police has said that Sharik had posed with the bomb before the blast, also saying that international terror plot has been exposed.
Hate preacher Zakir Naik, charge sheeted by the National Investigation Agency as well as the Enforcement Directorate, named in the Easter bombings and the Dhaka blast, gets a formal invite during the FIFA World Cup. Should India register a protest? Join me on the burning question at 8:30 p.m.
Viewers, it's time for Superfast 50. Let's get started. I'm Shivangi Shukla. The Mangaluru police have brought to light that a major tragedy has been averted in the city in connection with the mystery blast that took place in an auto rickshaw. The accused Sharik, who was injured in the blast, is reported to have only managed to assemble one pressure cooker bomb and was planning something big before his bomb exploded in his face. Days after a blast occurred in a moving auto rickshaw in Mangaluru, a pro-Lashkar graffiti by the prime accuser Sharik came to the fore. On Monday, the graffiti in Shivamoga, which dates back to the year 2020, had a do not force us to invite Lashkar-e-Taiba and Taliban warning for the Sangis. During the investigation in the Mangaluru blast case, the Karnataka police in a mega success seized pressure cookers, gelatin sticks, relay circuits, wires and other explosive materials from the residence of the accused Sharik. Former National Conference Chief Farooq Abdullah spoke on the Mangaluru blast, and while admitting he did not have details, he held that a center responsible with the former NC chief questioning who was responsible for the radicalization and division among religions.
This is a problem. Only the security and the intelligence people can now find out what is the reason for the blast.
रेडिकलाइजेशन बढ़ रहा है सर आपको लगता है?
रेडिकलाइजेशन किसने बढ़ाया बताइए मुझे। कौन हिंदू और मुसलमान और सिखों में अलग बात कर रहा है? कौन ये कह रहा है कि हम लोग अलग अलग हैं? कौन? वही तो रेडिकलाइजेशन।
A second CCTV visual of Shraddha murder accused Aftab has been accessed dated October 18 and around 4 a.m. where Aftab is spotted with a backpack. Police suspect that Aftab was on his way to dispose of body parts of Shraddha. Social activist Poonam Bidlani reported to have helped Shraddha on at least 3 occasions, narrated the conversation she had with Shraddha in connection with Aftab. The social activist spoke about the manner in which she was told about Aftab's physical abuse towards Shraddha.
उस दिन तो नॉनवेज खिलाने के लिए उसका झगड़ा हुआ था। जब उसने मुझे बोला कि मैंने पूछा क्यों मारा है आपको, ऐसे बताया कि मैं लिविंग में रहती हूँ एक लड़के के साथ में, उसने मुझे बहुत मारा है।
और इस बताया कि इसके पहले भी मारपीट करता था, कोई वजह?
हाँ, ऐसे बोल रही थी कि कभी भी उसको गुस्सा आता है मुझे बहुत मारता है, नेक्स्ट डे फिर अपने घर चला जाता है, फिर अगले दिन आता है।
Delhi police are reported to have recorded statements of at least 11 people so far in Maharashtra in connection with the Shraddha murder case. The list of people interrogated include friends of Shraddha, her landlord, Shraddha's former manager, flat owner, and other persons in Aftab and his family's place of living, and the packers and movers that helped the two move to Delhi. The Delhi police further interrogated the staff of a 5-star hotel in Mumbai. Aftab is reported to have interned at. Delhi police are reported to have recovered portions of Shraddha's skull amid ongoing search operations in connection with the Shraddha murder case. The discovery is the 7th instance of both recovered by police so far. Delhi police have gone a note for carrying out the polygraph test of Aftab Poonawalla, following which a narco test is to be conducted. The Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawalla within 5 days in the Shraddha murder case. And the police earlier recorded statements of Shraddha's best friend Shivani and Karan, former manager of Shraddha, along with 4 others in connection with the case. A plea has been filed in Delhi High Court seeking a transfer of probe of Shraddha murder case from the Delhi police to the CBI, with the allegations against the Delhi police being that they have shared all details of the investigation, which is not permissible by law. Rajasthan's CM Ashok Gehlot has commented on Shraddha murder case, calling the incident unfortunate, further claiming that the politics as well as the targeting a particular community was being done following the incident.
ये घटना है, घटना दुर्घटना है। ये तो नाम दे दिए गए हैं, नाम दे दिए गए हैं, जुमले कर दिए गए हैं, जुमले कर दिए गए हैं। आप इसको किसी रुपये ले लीजिए, ये तो कोई नई बात नहीं। सदियों से इंटरकास्ट, इंटर धर्म के नाम पे जो शादी होती है, कोई नई बात तो नहीं है। और जब आपने टारगेट बना दिया एक कौम को, एक धर्म को, उसके आधार पे आपकी राजनीति चल रही है देश के अंदर, उसका फायदा आपको मिल रहा है। क्योंकि धर्म के नाम पर, जाति के नाम पर इकट्ठा करना हो, संगठित करना हो, मॉब क्रिएट करना हो तो बड़ा आसान काम है। आग लगाना बड़ा आसान है, आग को बुझाने में वक्त लगता है।
With the probe into Shraddha's horrific murder, another incident of a woman being killed by being hacked to pieces has been reported from Azamgarh in UP. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot for recovery of the woman's body, which he allegedly chopped into at least 6 pieces, which he disposed of in plastic bags across Azamgarh. The suspect's whole family believed to be involved in that murder.
16 तारीख को थाना क्षेत्र अजरौला में एक अज्ञात युवती की डेड बॉडी कुएं में मिली थी, जिसकी सिर नहीं था, बाकी बॉडी पार्ट्स काटे गए थे। पुलिस के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज था, महिला संबंधी अपराध था और एक जघन्य अपराध था। हम लोगों के लिए बहुत बड़ी चुनौती थी घटना को वर्कआउट करना, शिनाख्त करना, वर्कआउट करना और अपराधी को पकड़ना। हमारी 5 पुलिस टीम इसमें लगी हुई थी और बहुत मेहनत करते हुए आज अपराधी को गिरफ्तार कर लिया गया है। पूरी घटना का अनावरण किया गया है। इस घटना में प्रमुख अभियुक्त प्रिंस यादव, इसको आज पुलिस मुठभेड़ के दौरान गिरफ्तार किया गया है। दाहिने पैर में इसके गोली लगी है, इसके पास से एक अवैध असला बरामद हुआ है। इससे पूछताछ में ये क्लियर हुआ कि इसका मृतका के साथ 2 साल से संबंध था। मृतका की फरवरी में इसी साल शादी हुई थी।
A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept the body in a car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh, Bilaspur, with the incident coming to light after a foul smell began coming from the car in which the body was kept. The police have arrested the suspects and a probe has been initiated. BJP in a press conference revealed a sting operation where a potential candidate for the Aam Aadmi Party for the Rohini MCD poll in New Delhi was asked to pay at least 80 lakh to secure a ticket for the party.
रहकर आम आदमी पार्टी के दफ्तर के अंदर से, आम आदमी पार्टी के नेताओं के बीच में से जिस प्रकार के स्टिंग उभर कर आ रहे हैं, ये अपने आप में दिखाता है कि भ्रष्टाचार के दलदल में अरविंद केजरीवाल जी और उनकी आम आदमी पार्टी आज डूबी हुई है, पूरी तरह से सनी हुई है।
Rao Sabnu Court in Delhi adjourned the hearing in connection with the leaked CCTV footage of jailed Delhi Minister Satyendra Jain after an advocate representing the Delhi Minister issued a notice to the ED over allegedly leaking the tapes from the Tihar jail to the media. Days after the videos of Satyendra Jain allegedly getting a massage in Tihar jail gets exposed, the Delhi CM Kejriwal was seen defending his party's minister violating laws. Therefore, he even tried to divert the attention.
मैं यही कहना चाहता हूँ, वो वीडियो में वो कह रहे हैं कि वो कोई मसाज करा रहा है, VIP ट्रीटमेंट है। वो फिजियोथेरेपी कर रहा है, डॉक्टर ने उनको रिकमेंड किया था। अमित शाह जी जब यहाँ के मंत्री थे गुजरात में, वो जब जेल में थे, उनको VIP ट्रीटमेंट जो मिला था यहाँ पे जेल में गुजरात में, ऐसा कोई VIP ट्रीटमेंट सत्येंद्र जैन को नहीं मिल रहा। आप पता कर लीजिए यहाँ पे अमित शाह को क्या VIP ट्रीटमेंट मिलता था।
Commenting on the issue of Delhi Minister Satyendra Jain allegedly getting a massage while in jail, Assam CM Himanta Biswa Sarma stated that the Aam Aadmi Party had done a crime by backing the minister and committed a blunder by linking the incident to elections.
The Northeast Delhi constituency and did a roadshow interacting with the people. I have seen huge euphoria for the party.
An FIR has been registered against Congress MLA Umang Singhar in Dhar for allegedly raping and mentally harassing a woman. The leader is a Congress National Secretary and co-in charge of Gujarat elections and a former minister of the Madhya Pradesh government. CBI has registered a prelim inquiry in an alleged football fixing case. According to sources, CBI visited Delhi-based All India Football Federation headquarters and sought more information about the clubs and the investments in connection with alleged match fixing in football. Hundreds of BJP workers protest against Hemant Soren-led UPA government in Jharkhand. The BJP workers had come together at the city's ground and later marched toward the district collectorate, raising slogans like Hemant Hatao, Jharkhand Bachao. Mathura police have arrested the parents of 25-year-old woman whose body was found wrapped in a plastic bag stuffed inside a red trolley bag near Yamuna Expressway.
करीब हम लोगों को 72 घंटे के आसपास ये वक्त लगा मर्डर मिस्ट्री सुलझाने में, चूंकि बच्ची का आइडेंटिफिकेशन नहीं हो पाया, आइडेंटिफिकेशन होने में समय लगा और उसके बाद हम लोगों ने इसको सुलझा लिया।
कितनी टीम लगी हुई?
14 टीमें हमारी लगी हुई थी आइडेंटिफिकेशन से लेकर कार्यवाही तक के लिए।
कौन सी धाराओं में मुकदमा दर्ज हुआ?
मुकदमा 302 और 201 में दर्ज हुआ है।
जो आरोपी हैं उनका वो आरोप कैसे सिद्ध हुआ, कहाँ से आपको लीड मिलती चली?
आइडेंटिफिकेशन होने के बाद प्रथम दृष्टया वहाँ पर फोटो देख के इन लोगों ने पहचानने से इनकार कर रहे थे, लेकिन उसका भाई पहचाना, जो कि माइनर है, लेकिन उसने पहचाना और उसने कहा कि ये मेरी ही बहन है। फिर उसके भाई और उसकी माँ को हम लोग ले आए यहाँ पर, डेड बॉडी जब उनको दिखाए तो उन लोगों ने पहचाना दोनों लोगों ने, और फिर हम लोगों को आगे लीड मिलती गई।
BJP holds mega protest in Kolkata against TMC Minister Akhil Giri for insulting President Murmu. The BJP Mahila Morcha now took out the protest march in College Square in central Kolkata against Giri's comment about the safety of women in the state and corruption in government jobs. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has interacted with the Indian community members in Doha and lauded their role in now deepening the links between India and Qatar. Dhankar, who is in the Doha for a 2-day visit, now represented India at the inauguration of the FIFA World Cup on Sunday. At least 46 people were killed and over 700 sustained injuries after a 5.6 magnitude earthquake rattled Indonesia's main island of Java for several seconds today afternoon. At least 7 students of a government school fell unconscious, allegedly due to suffocation. These students allegedly inhaled some form of toxic gas released due to the burning of raw coal nearby. However, according to the doctors, they are stable now. UP government's one district, one product seemed to be gaining a lot of attention at the 41st Indian International Trade Fair. The Yogi Adityanath government seems to be promoting local products at the global scale with the initiative, which is attracting lots of visitors. A total of 24 cars suffered serious damage after a truck lost control and rammed into several vehicles stuck in traffic on the Pune-Bengaluru highway. 11 injured were treated on the spot, where 6 others required hospitalization. A group of Naxalites set fire to as many as 5 vehicles and 4 mobile towers in Chhattisgarh Kanker district. Now, according to the reports, as many as 8 incidents took place there last night, which investigations right now are underway. NCB Mumbai has successfully seized a consignment of 2.80 kgs cocaine worth 20 crore rupees, busting an international drug trafficking syndicate. In connection to this, 2 foreign nationals were also arrested from Mumbai. Further investigation is underway. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky and First Lady Olena Zelenskaya has now paid respect to heavenly 100 heroes in Kiev as a part of the Freedom and Dignity Day commemoration. Presidential couple laid candles at the memorial where many protesters were shot dead. Kazakh Central Electoral Commission announced the preliminary result of the presidential elections today, where 31% majority votes were given to the incumbent President Tokayev, while other candidates got less than 3% each. New Zealand PM Jacinda Ardern says that lawmakers will vote today on whether to lower the national voting age from 18 to 16 or not. Announcement comes hours after New Zealand Supreme Court ruled that not allowing 16 and 17-year-olds to vote amounted to age discrimination. Malaysia's longest ruling coalition says it's not decided which bloc to support after divisive elections left neither party there with enough seats to form a government on its own. Ukraine's Kharkiv region, the Ukrainian army has managed to capture undamaged Russian weaponry as a result of the counter-attack, and now this equipment is being used against the Russians themselves. This includes Soviet UTO's heavy machine gun along with others. Iranian missiles and drones struck a Kurdish opposition group's base in northern Iraq late Sunday night. They have also claimed that the missiles and drones hit its bases adjacent refugee camp in Koya and Jejnikan and have also hit a hospital in Goa. US Vice President Kamala Harris has now met Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. today. Harris aims at reinforcing Washington's oldest treaty alliance in Asia and strengthening economic ties with Philippines in the important meeting. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has chosen takoyaki Matsumoto as the next Internal Affairs Minister. This announcement took place after Minoru Terracotta was forced to resign over funding irregularities last night. Southern Chinese metropolis of Guangzhou has now locked down its largest district as it tries to tamp down a major COVID-19 outbreak, suspending public transit and requiring residents to present a negative test if they want to leave their homes. Suspected Kurdish militants in Syria fired rockets across the border to Turkey, killing at least 3 people and wounding 10 other reports. The rocket struck a high school and 2 houses in the town of Karkamis, as well as struck near the Turkish-Syria border gate. Day 1 of the FIFA World Cup, and we are witnessing fans and locals wrapped with the colours of the country's flags at one of the most central areas in Doha. People can be seen dancing, singing and chanting for the teams in this atmosphere, which is extremely exuberant. The Swiss national team continues their preparations for their World Cup opening game against Cameroon on Thursday. Press conference by Munich's Jamal Musiala along with Borussia Dortmund's defender Nicolas Süle is now reaffirmed Germany's chances of winning the World Cup. The national team of Germany will start their Group E campaign against Japan on Wednesday, 23rd November. Cristiano Ronaldo and his Portugal teammates were seen training this morning in Qatar as they continue preparations for the FIFA World Cup. This session comes after Ronaldo spoke for the first time since his explosive interview. It was a 37-year-old and he felt betrayed by his club, Manchester United. There were chaotic scenes in a fan zone set up in central Doha on the opening day of the World Cup. Tens of thousands of fans pushed and shoved against police lines to enter the venue. Ecuadorian cheered and celebrated in Quito as they watched on a large screen as the national team won their first match of the FIFA World Cup. The tournament opened on Sunday with Qatar being outplayed in 2-0 loss to Ecuador in front of 67,000 fans at the El Bait Stadium. Yesterday's loss for Qatar was the first time a host team had now lost its opening match in 92 years of football's biggest event. Ecuador's captain now Ener Valencia has scored both of his team's goals in the first half. Canada trained in Doha, continuing preparations for the first game of the Qatar World Cup against Belgium. Canada's second match in Group F is against Croatia before they round off their group stage fixtures by facing Morocco 4 days later. Iran put final touches on their preparations for a tough opening game against England at Khalifa International Stadium in Qatar World Cup, with the month-long tournament in neighbouring Qatar coming amid political turmoil in the streets of Tehran. And Senegal head coach said Sadio Mane's absence from the World Cup will be felt by fans across the world as the team prepared for the opening match against the Netherlands without their star player. African champions will also face Ecuador and host Qatar in Group A.
To 40% of the people who didn't even know they had diabetes had soaring sugar levels.
To help India beat diabetes, BITO has collaborated with Lions Club International to conduct diabetes screening camps all over India to create awareness and control this silent epidemic.
आपने शुगर चेक की क्या?
Get your diabetes care program with a free BITO glucometer. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner Aftab Poonawala move to Delhi and provided luggage shifting service to the accused. A Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawala within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police earlier recorded statements of Shraddha's best friend Shivani Mahatre and Karan Beheri, former manager of Shraddha, along with 4 others in connection with this case. Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot. A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept her body in the car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur, with the incident coming to light after a foul smell began emanating from the car in which the body was kept. The police have arrested the suspect and a probe has been initiated. The Karbi Anglon police. A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex-gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway, in which several people suffered injuries, with 8 of them being hospitalized. The accident occurred at the Navale Bridge after a suspect.
Zakir Naik reportedly invited during the FIFA World Cup. Has FIFA or Qatar invited a fugitive who backs terror? Can there be games with a fugitive on the sidelines? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Viewers, we're getting the fastest updates on Republic TV. Prime Minister Modi has hit back at Congress for the Auqat comment. He said that Congress should talk about issues and development and not about Auqat. This comes a week after Congress leader Madhusudan Mistry attacked the Prime Minister and made the Auqat comment.
આટલું બધું જ્યારે કામ કરીએ, હવે તમે વિચાર કરો ભાઈ, ચૂંટણીમાં વિકાસની ચર્ચા થવી જોઈએ કે ના થવી જોઈએ? જરા બોલો તો, વિકાસની સભા ચર્ચા થવી જોઈએ કે ના થવી જોઈએ? કોણે કેટલું કામ કર્યું એની ચર્ચા થવી જોઈએ કે ના થવી જોઈએ? પાણી પહોંચ્યું કે નહીં પહોંચ્યું એની ચર્ચા થવી જોઈએ કે નહીં થવી જોઈએ? વીજળી પહોંચી કે નહીં પહોંચી એની ચર્ચા થવી જોઈએ કે ના થવી જોઈએ? અમે હિસાબ આપવા તૈયાર છીએ, પણ કોંગ્રેસને ખબર છે કે આવા મુદ્દા કાઢીએ તો ભાજપ તો જબરજસ્ત એનો રેકોર્ડ છે. ભાજપ ચડી જ બેસે, કારણ કે ભાજપ એટલું બધું કામ કર્યું છે. એટલે હવે શું કરે છે? વિકાસના મુદ્દાની ચર્ચા નથી કરતા. એક કોંગ્રેસ વાળા કહે છે આ મોદીને એની औकात બતાવી દઈશું. औकात मोदी को उसकी औकात दिखा देंगे. अहंकार जो भाइयों, अहंकार जो, मोदी को उसकी औकात दिखा देंगे. अरे माँ बाप, તમે તો બધા રાજ પરિવારો છો, હું તો એક સામાન્ય પરિવારનું સંતાન છું. મારી કોઈ औकात નથી બાપા. તમે મારી औकात દેખાડવાની. અરે હું તો સેવક છું, હું તો સેવાદાર છું, અને સેવક કે સેવાદારની વડી औकात હોતી છે. અરે તમે મને નીચ પણ કહ્યો, નીચી જાતિનો પણ કહ્યો. અરે તમે તો મને મોતનો સોદાગરો પણ કહ્યો. અરે તમે તો મને ગંદી નાળીનો કીડો પણ કીધો. બધું કીધું ભાઈ, તમે બધું કીધું. હવે તમે औकात બતાવવા નીકળ્યા છો. અમારી કોઈ औकात નથી. મહેરબાની કરીને વિકાસના મુદ્દાની ચર્ચા કરો અને આ ગુજરાતને વિકસિત ગુજરાત બનાવવા માટે આવો મેદાનમાં. આ औकात બનાવવાના ખેલ રવા દો ભાઈ.
Can terrorists and propagandists be distinguished? Is there a jihadi threat in South India? 2 blasts in 27 days. Can the jihadi threat be ignored? Debating tonight, 10 p.m.
Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot. A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept her body in the car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur, with the incident coming to light after a foul smell began emanating from the car in which the body was kept. The police have arrested the suspect and a probe has been initiated. The Karbi Anglon police. A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope of a bridge on the Mumbai-Bengaluru highway, in which several people suffered injuries, with 8 of them being hospitalized. The accident occurred at the Navale bridge after a suspected brake failure. Emergency operations by the fire department were carried out successfully after a fire broke out at the temple of Raja Gopuram in Bhadrakali Amman temple in Sivakasi in Virudhunagar in Tamil Nadu. And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. The Delhi police probing the Shraddha Walkar murder case reached Mumbai's Mira Road area in connection with the investigation, with sources stating that the Delhi and Manikpuri police have been interrogating a person who helped Shraddha's live-in partner Aftab Poonawala move to Delhi and provided luggage shifting service to the accused. A Delhi court has ordered the Rohini Forensic Science Lab to conduct a narco test of accused Aftab Poonawala within 5 days in the Shraddha Walkar murder case. The police earlier recorded statements of Shraddha's best friend Shivani Mahatre and Karan Beheri, former manager of Shraddha, along with 4 others in connection with this case. Days after Shraddha's case reported in the national capital, another incident of a woman being killed and thereafter her body being chopped off has been reported from Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh. The suspect, Prince Yadav, was injured in an encounter and taken to the spot. A man allegedly strangled a woman to death and kept her body in the car for 4 days in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur, with the incident coming to light after a foul smell began emanating from the car in which the body was kept. The police have arrested the suspect and a probe has been initiated. The Karbi Anglon police. A speeding truck ran over a child and other people at Vaishali in Bihar, with 15 casualties reported from the crash. The Prime Minister has announced an ex gratia compensation for the kin of the deceased. At least 24 vehicles were damaged after a truck lost control on the downward slope.
Hate preacher Zakir Naik, charge-sheeted by the National Investigation Agency as well as the Enforcement Directorate, named in the Easter bombings and the Dhaka blast, gets a formal invite during the FIFA World Cup. Should India register a protest? Join me on The Burning Question at 8:30 p.m.
Zakir Naik reportedly invited during the FIFA World Cup. Has FIFA or Qatar invited a fugitive who backs terror? Can there be games with a fugitive on the sidelines? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Burning Question.
Just 28 days ago, it was in Coimbatore, in Tamil Nadu. And now, a redux of that entire episode that has been reported from Mangaluru. What is common between these two locations? What's common between the two blasts? And is there just one body behind this? Is there one common handler behind this? Is an ISIS imprint written all over these two blasts? Republic is tracking that and much more, and that, remember, is something that we are leading this edition of The Burning Question with. A very good evening. I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. First up, the headlines.
औकात दिखा देंगे मारी कोई औकात नहीं बापा तमे मारी औकात देखाड़वानी
The Prime Minister lashing out at the Congress over the Auqat remarks by the party. He says the Congress doesn't discuss any key issues, only Prime Minister ka Auqat. The Karnataka terror plot unravels. The accused Sharik was radicalized. He made the pressure cooker bomb in ISIS style. The cops now confirm his links with the global terror outfit. Delhi police gets nod for Aftab's lie detector test. Hunt continues now for Shraddha's skull. The cops recover a human jaw from a Delhi forest. Not yet confirmed whether it belonged to Shraddha or not. Zakir Naik is invited as a state guest to Qatar at the FIFA World Cup event. He is wanted in India by the Enforcement Directorate and the NIA. Why roll out the red carpet for this man? And an earthquake jolts the Indonesian island of Java. 5.6 magnitude earthquake leaves more than 56 people dead. Hundreds are injured. So for